So this opening shot right here was a very happy accident. I went to drag in the color grading effect and accidentally kind of put on this warp type thing. I don't remember what it was, but it created that effect of it spinning. And naturally, the flash on the disco ball is what made it seem like the screen was like staticky. And I used a Pulsar 23 to create the soundscape for this. I really wanted to do a commentary on this film because of how important it is for me. It was so far the darkest period of my life. I lost a very close childhood friend of mine, and at the same time, my father was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And I did have an original script for the entire film, but we kind of threw it out the window when my dad and I went to a lake when he couldn't walk anymore and he just wanted to drive and get out of the house. And so we did the whole unscripted interview, which became the backbone of this film.
Going back now? I wish I would have done more.
So this opening track, Desire, was actually the last thing shot because it was actually shot at the release party for the EP. The shots in this film where it just has the words that pop up on screen were very much influenced by Jean-Luc Godard. I remember at the time I saw Masculine Feminine for the first time and I was blown away by that. This whole song really, I kind of wanted to really start off with a lot of intensity, a lot of things happening at once, because we kind of live in this world where these quick fixes just put band-aids on bigger issues that we don't tend to deal with, and that's where our desires, I feel like, come from. I did have a second version with no words at all, but I feel like this kind of really helped tie in the avant-garde all over the place with all these different scenes.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's how life is also, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to learn with age. You just learn from your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So just be in the moment.
Now, going into Burned at the Stake, this was such an awesome shoot. Funny thing about this opening shot right here is actually I messed up so many times because I couldn't light a match because of the wind. Partly that, and partly being influenced by French New Wave, the quick cuts while we're smoking. The way that I wrote Burned at the Stake was actually a girl that I was seeing. We were talking about spirituality and some occult things, and the last thing I ever heard from her was this line: if I get burned at the stake, then you're coming with me. And after that I haven't seen her again, but like that night I literally went straight over to piano and wrote this song on 4 chords and then recreated it again. This shot right here was actually an accident as well. This shot I had planned for a very, very long time. I think it's funny how unshaved my chest is. First half I'm not looking at it, the shadow self, and the second half I am, because I really wanted to feel like I'm acknowledging it, but not so much. He was supposed to be in the opening shot too in the Desire song, but the shot that we had with that, it just looked very strange and he was a little too in the dark. This is probably the best shot in the entire film, and it was also a complete accident. This shot I actually got inspired because I saw the movie Poor Things for the first time around here, and there was that very sexual scene with her legs. You know, I was actually too scared to ask my friend to do things that were a little more risque. You could dream of anything, but I see you in hell. So the really long shot here was inspired by another French New Wave short film called La Jetée. And the first time I saw that it's a bunch of images and then the one video in the entire thing is when the female protagonist opens her eyes, and it really scared the hell out of me. And I'm like, I need to put that in the middle of this song before the wow shot. The wow shot we did at Gilgo Beach at my friend's house, and they have a private beach part.
You have a job
because it's their backyard, and they do fires all the time, and I'm like, I don't want any fake effects in this. I want to do all real effects. So we dug the fire pit, set up the fire, put the pole behind it with Reilly and I, and he was so scared that he was going to damage his camera. And it's weird because I do see like a little black dot every once in a while. So this tree burning, I thought it was a really cool symbolism because obviously we didn't have the budget to actually burn us or make it look like we were being burned. So I thought the symbolism of the tree being burned was just so cool. The tree falling down was actually a complete accident, and it was another amazing accident that happened in this film. So this next shot is the first time that I confront the shadow self. And this was actually the first thing that was ever filmed, actually just as a teaser for the EP.
You just have to be strong enough. You have to have.
Funny thing about this is I had my friend standing on, I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 milk crates. And I remember while we were filming this, there were 2 women that turned the corner and screamed at the top of their lungs, and we had to kind of explain to them that we were shooting, a short film, and it was whatever, but it was pretty late at night, so I could see how they would be absolutely terrified. I really had a lot of fun with the sound design of this too. It was also on the Pulsar 23, but a really cool thing about the timing of these shots is I watched a YouTube video breaking down tension in Alfred Hitchcock's film Birds. It showed how long the pop-out was being shown, like the birds and then the woman's face, and then more birds and then the woman's face, and I wrote down the exact timestamps and copied those timestamps. And instead, to kind of add the extra flavor of scariness, I had the build-up sound design into absolutely nothing. I also love this shot. So now, this Enlighten Me shoot I did cut down for the film. We also could not stop laughing through most of these shots because in the opening shot, my friend was like tickling my armpit, and I could not contain myself. I was talking to my therapist about how I had a hard time with collaboration. So what I did is I literally just booked a studio to do the shoot with no plan, and basically just sent out a particle inviting whoever wanted to come, and I was pushing for so many people to come And my friend Lauren and I went to a few clothing stores and we bought a whole bunch of outfits and fabric. And I told her, you know, there are all these Caravaggio paintings and things that I found off of Pinterest and Arena. And I was like, I want to recreate these shots because this is the type of symbolism that this album touches upon. And then this was like, obviously it became the album cover. It was me in the magician pose, and then the shadow self was kind of in the hermit stance. But you know, in tarot, I tried to get all of them in there. And during this final shot, the sword and the lantern were extremely heavy, and my friend was like whispering in my ear that he couldn't hold it much longer for the shot, so I had to really slow it down. Could not stop laughing. And originally I really wasn't happy with the way that the
I love you till
white
infinity,
backdrop was laying there, but I feel like it then added to its own story of being imperfect, even after doing all the work and confronting your shadow self.
Your music, the lyrics.
And for this part of the interview, I felt it was very necessary to have my voice in there to both show the contrast that it actually is my father speaking, and also not saying that we ever reach a complete point of enlightenment, but I kind of had new ideas and a new perspective and a way of looking at life and moments.
So, you just gotta think of the people around you.
When my dad did say the word fight, that was totally not planned. And the final shot here, the infinity comes from my uncle who passed away. He was in group homes for his entire life, never had a relationship. And he taught me everything I know about spirituality and synchronicity. And every single time I saw him since I was a little boy, he would always make me draw the infinity symbol. And so that's why the infinity symbol became like my logo. So right now I'm actually working on my second short film with a full-length album. And I learned a lot from making this first one, and it really got me excited about making a film with every single project I do, regardless if I put that pressure on myself and actually follow through with that. We'll see, but I really wanted to do a commentary on this. So I hope you enjoy. And I'm actually adding to my website right now all the original journaling and notebook scribbles and notes and scripts that I wrote so that you can check out the original ideas.